So if you're in the gaming space, you might have seen something coming out, and it's called Stop Killing Games. It's got quite a lot of popularity within the past year or so. Now, a YouTuber called Accused Farms has set up Stop Killing Games, and he's put multiple videos on his YouTube channel talking about stuff like this, and he set up multiple petitions. I think in the EU, I think he set up a petition in the UK as well. He set one up in the UK through Parliament petitions, prohibit publishers in incoherently disabling video games they have already sold. The government should update consumer law to prohibit publishers from disabling video games and related game asset features they have already sold without recourse for customers to retain or repair them. We see this as a statutory consumer right. It has currently 183,000 signatures. The Parliament has actually considered, they're waiting for 9 days. But the Parliament has responded. They responded on the 3rd of February 2025. There are no plans to amend the UK consumer law on disabling video games. Those selling video games must comply with the existing requirements in consumer law, and we will continue to monitor this issue. Now, this mainly comes out because I think it was a few months ago now, the original Crew, so it's like a competitor Forza game, Crew. So the Crew, I think it was the Crew 1, which had been out for a very long time. People actually started to refund it on Steam as well. I think some people were successful in refunding it. But it was an always online game, but it had a story mode, like it had a single player attached to that in a way, where you could play in your own sort of session because it was tied to a server. And a lot of games do this, which is quite annoying. And I do think, modernized games as well do it now. It's become the age-old requiring an internet connection for pretty much everything. Now, I get it. Everyone these days does have an internet connection. It's not really, or at least most people who are gaming have an internet connection. That is true. However, it's the fact they knock the servers off and the game becomes useless. Now, the community is probably one of the smartest, gaming community anyway, is probably one of the smartest and craziest out there, because they can actually mod the games and somehow bring servers back to life. Heck, I think old Halo, I think it was Halo Combat Evolved, I think it's still online through a community server thing, through the original Xbox. That is fucking crazy that people can do that. And again, I'm sure these companies like Ubisoft or whatever are going to come against this and be like, well, you can't modify these games. Like, what I find so funny is, the game's kind of fucking useless at that point, isn't it? Like, what's the point of you caring about it? You took it offline, and now you're getting pissed off at the fact that people are putting it online. Then why don't you just, try and find a workaround, unrelease the game, and then, spend a month or two trying to fix and find a workaround that you can actually use the game, and then just put it back on the store, whether that's for free or a very discounted price. We don't need this now where developers are just abusing this. It's like, oh, well, we've got your money now, we're just going to take this away so you can never really enjoy it again. It's a weird thing. I don't know why developers do it. Is it because they don't want people to enjoy their games past a certain time? Is it jealousy? They're just jealous of people I don't really know why they don't like people doing that. Now, here are some of the companies that actually lobbied against Stop Killing Games. Activision Blizzard, Repedzio, Epic Games, shocker, Sega, Roblox, Nintendo, Microsoft, Netflix, Riot Games, pretty much all the big influential developers or higher up studios, which again doesn't surprise me that they've lobbied against this. Do I think Stop Killing Games is going to work? Who knows? If it's got these, I don't know if I don't. Oh yeah, I do see Take-Two there. That's not a surprise, considering Take-Two controversially said that people should pay for GTA 6 per hour. The CEO said, and there are controversial things out there that apparently the game is going to cost $100, which we all know that's going to ruin the gaming space forever. Considering with how bad things are priced now already within the gaming space, it's just not going to be a great one. However, it doesn't surprise me that a bunch of these companies have come together and been like, well, we don't want you doing this. We don't want you doing anything to do with this. Warner Bros. Even as well. So some pretty big, some huge names in the gaming space, which, yeah, isn't really shocking at all. Now, a pretty big YouTuber has decided to start a bit of controversy. I don't really know much of him, too much, but he became popular, I think, for like his opinions on video games and stuff like that. He's a former developer at Blizzard. I think his father worked at Blizzard as well, so I think he had a lot of people call him a Nepo baby within that sense. I think maybe his father got him the job a lot easier, I'm not too sure. However, he decided to cause a bit of ruckus on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. This is the tweet he put out. But yeah, and this caused quite a lot of controversy. The most interesting narrative is that my videos somehow killed the initiative. This graph shows that the initiative already had downward trend in interest. When my videos dropped, my videos do not seem to have any impact on the movement at all. Making me the villain did though. Best of luck with your next steps. So pretty much for some reason he's against what developers are doing. Now, I don't know why he is, to be honest with you, because, well, his name is Pirate Games and he's kind of like, from what I understand, I think he is against AAA studios, even though he's worked at a AAA studio. I don't know why he stopped working at Blizzard. Did he finally realize that, AAA is actually pretty scummy, or did he just get fired because he was being an asshole? I don't really know why he was being fired from Blizzard in the first place, but it's kind of a shocker, this. That he put this out. Pirate Software responds to Stop Killing Games. Gonna be honest with you, I hope that your initiative gets everything you wanted, you asked for, but nothing you wanted, and I'll leave it there. Kind of reminds me of the guy from the World Economic Forum who said, "You will own nothing and be happy." That's exactly what that is. It's just in a different word. But yeah, it's not a surprise he did that, but it kind of is as well. The guy Notch, who is a very big, well-known developer who actually came up with the concept of Minecraft, actually put out a tweet saying, "Hey guys, just got back to gaming after a brief break. Wait, why is there a Nepo baby doubling down over there?" So yeah, it's quite sad that someone who, he's quite a thing. He tells people to go make games and enjoy yourself. It basically helps developers and stuff like that. I think gives them a bit of courage, I think, and stuff like that. But to me anyway, it just seems a bit hypocritical what he's doing and what he's saying. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a weird thing. Stop Killing Games looks like a good thing. But apparently the argument that developers actually came out and said is that Stop Killing Games, the actual whole thing, would make development more expensive. So you're telling me to add a simple backroom, maybe you don't have to launch it with the game, but maybe you could put it towards the end of the life of the game. But you're telling me adding something to make a multiplayer game or to hide a multiplayer thing where you have to connect to a server, even if you're not playing in a session with anyone at all. A lot of games do this, which is pretty annoying. But you're saying that would cost a lot of money to do a workaround to that. But you don't say. Battlefield the other day said that its massive budget, it's over their budget of $400 million. So you're telling me, oh yes, a Stop Killing Games whole thing would cost too much for development, but we're not talking about the already demanding AAA costs for development anyway. So to me, it just seems like they're using any sort of way to be like, well, to shut down their game. It's almost like they're gatekeeping their games past a certain time. Yes, there may be very few people playing them, but still, maybe people actually fucking enjoy them. You know, just be a decent fucking person and realize. I get it. If it's something like, say, for instance, Call of Duty. Yes, there's very little of that you can actually preserve in that way. Without an online connection. Although I've got to give it to Activision, as much as people shit on them, holy shit, you can still play the oldest CODs pretty easy. You could log on and the servers are just wide awake. They are working they're just going still. To me, that's pretty surprising considering it's Activision. I thought they would have just booted the servers off, but they're still going. Yes, very little people playing them, but yeah, I know EA just knocked off, I think, Battlefield 3 on last gen. You can't play it now. Battlefield 3, I think Battlefield 2, Bad Company 2 as well, they knocked off. You can't play either of them now, especially online. And you can't buy them on any physical store. So you are pretty much fucked if you wanted them. Which is sad, but yeah. It doesn't make, like, the lobby, the Europeans' largest video game spoke out against Stop Killing Games, said it made game dev too expensive. The lobby's board of members from EA, Ubisoft, Activision, and several other publishers who have permanently killed games. What a surprise, it's all of the free fucking Musketeers, you know, and many more of the shits, you know. People are signing this. The petition is still going on through the European Union, but I just don't understand why we've got people like Pirate Software against it. Is he a hypocrite? Is he just pissed off at the fact that video games are actually, people are getting what they want? I don't know. He's losing a bunch of subscribers as well. He lost about 100,000 subscribers in 2 weeks, which is actually quite funny. But yeah, I don't know. Just doesn't really make an awful lot of sense in my opinion. But yeah, it's still going strong, and I like to see where it's going, and hopefully it continues. The UK Parliament will respond in a few days, so we'll see how that continues. And yeah, I want to see where EU might actually change game laws here. That's pretty cool. I don't know if America would ever clutch onto this. I'm not too sure. EU petition is still going on, which is very good. Let's have a look how many people have actually signed that petition. So the EU, 1.3 million people have signed it, and the deadline is on the 31st of July. So that's pretty cool. So I know they did this a few years. So I don't think they did it for a petition, but the EU, when loot boxes were becoming a thing in games, this was like nearly 10 years ago now. Loot boxes were becoming a thing in gaming, and a lot of people were buying the shit out. It caused a big whole thing. This mainly was through the whole Star Wars Battlefront thing. That caused a lot of controversy, that game. I think the EU got involved and decided to do something about it. They did do something about it. They banned all that shit. Because it is kind of gambling, and let's be honest, a lot of kids, even though the games are 18 plus or whatever. Actually, I don't think Star Wars Battlefront was an 18, but I think it was a 16 plus game or something like that. I don't think it was I'm not too sure though. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just a bit weird why you would have gambling like that when a lot of kids are going to end up playing it. So, of course, naturally, EU got involved, and yeah, it just caused a whole lot of fucking ruckus, and they banned that shit, they put more stricter measures on it. And again, after that, we stopped seeing Call of Duty using that, and we stopped it was like a trend by a lot of developers back then, loot boxes, and that went like that. So hopefully this could do the same thing, and people actually realize, oh shit, maybe this should be the same thing as what they did with loot boxes, the EU. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see where things go. I think it has to reach 1.4 million petitions or petition signs. Yeah. But it's even got its own Wikipedia page now, which is really good. But yeah, it was started by just a YouTuber who has been quite looking through his videos. Accused Farm. He looks like he's been quite dedicated to this thing for a very long time. I saw a few last year. He started these petitions and stuff, and they're still going. I've got to respect it. It's great to know that people are actually caring and people are actually signing the petitions, which is great to hear.